All right, we are live. So, welcome to the Embracing Joy podcast, everyone. This is our live episode featuring Dr. Alicia Shelly. So, let me, everybody, this is a podcast. We're discussing the joy of movement. Okay. So, let me tell you about Dr. Alicia. So, Dr. Alicia Shelly, she's a board certified internal medicine and obesity medicine physician. She's a 2 times TEDx speaker and she's an international speaker. She's the host of Back on Track. It's Achieving Healthy Weight Loss podcast. She's been featured in CNN, CNN International, Fox 5 News, Upscale Magazine, and Shape.com. And that's the bio that she sent me, but she's done even more than what she states here. In her TEDx, she discusses her weight loss journey, and she's been able to maintain a healthy weight over many years. Additionally, she's done an Ironman, and I think she completed one, right? But you were in two,
Well,
which is for, tell me.
so I actually completed 2 Ironman halves, and then I attempted 2 full Ironmans, but they took me off the course on mile 19. So I have revenge.
Wow. So I think it's so important. This conversation is so important because we know, like I know all of us listening and myself, I know that exercise is so good for you. And it has so many benefits as far as our mental health, our cardiovascular health, our joints, our musculoskeletal system, and just our overall peace of mind and happiness. Exercise is phenomenal for doing that. However, exercise can be a dread for a lot of people after a long day, and you think, oh, I just have to exercise, and it's just, I feel like it's not something that I enjoy doing. How do you find exercise joyful? Like, what have you done to make it something that's more joyful for you?
So what you're saying is all true.
Mhm.
A lot of us feel that way, where we're like, I just worked all day. I got to take care of some of my obligations. I got to take care of
Mhm.
my spouse, my
Mhm.
kids. I don't have time to exercise. Like, what are
Mhm.
you talking about right now? And so the funny thing is that for me, I actually wasn't like that type of, I mean, I would go to the gym. I wouldn't necessarily call myself athletic. Not at all. Not
Mhm.
at all. In fact,
Mhm.
I started running in 2016, and that's when
Mhm.
I really found joy. Like, I would go to the gym and get on the elliptical. And actually, I wouldn't even go to the treadmill. I would get on the elliptical and just kind of keep moving and whatnot. And it wasn't fun. I mean, it was like for a purpose, right? I need to lose weight. I want to look better. I want to be more healthier. But when I started running, oh
Mhm.
my goodness, I felt so much joy. So let me just start off with my journey here in running. So,
Mhm.
like I said, I was not athletic. I literally had 2 left feet. I'm tall, so they asked me to play basketball, thinking that I would be somewhat great.
Mhm.
The answer is no, not at all. They were like, please sit down. Bitch, thank you so much for trying. Um,
Mhm.
but in 2016, my friend talked me into a 5K. And
Okay.
at this point, I was like, a five what? What is this that you're speaking about? She's like, we're gonna walk or run 5 miles. I was like, what? Are you
Mhm.
crazy? I thought, I don't know what she was smoking. What? You want to walk, run 5 miles, 3 miles? And so, needless to say, we started the Couch to 5K app. So we
Mhm.
started literally from the couch each day, each week, increasing our time before we were able to do the 5K, and we felt good. And from that moment, I was like, man, I love the way I feel,
Mhm.
putting that effort in. Like, I was like, I got to do something else. And so that's when I ended up doing a 10K, which is 6 miles, a half marathon, a 10 miler. And then
Mhm.
after that, I was like, well, we might as well just do the bucket list, do the marathon, and just
Mhm.
be with it. And so I actually was not convinced that I was going to survive the marathon. So I actually at that point got help. I didn't do the couch to marathon app. No, no, no. I actually joined the local track club. Um,
Okay.
and I got a coach and we worked together to kind of get our bodies ready. But what I loved about it and what I found joy is just the person I have to become in order to finish that race. And I'm not gonna lie to you, every time
Mhm.
I do a marathon, I ask myself, when was this a good idea? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, like I know you've been practicing and you've been putting in the miles and going to the trail and doing all the stuff, but now
Mhm.
we have to actually run 26 miles. Like, what is it? Like, what did you hit your head? But once I get started,
Mhm.
I keep going, I actually do enjoy it. And the funny thing is, I'll be on the trail or local trail running, and people are like smiling back at me. And I'm like, man, people are so friendly. And then I
Mhm.
realize I'm the one who's smiling. I'm the one who's happy to be outdoors, to be in the environment, and just to kind of be able to, kind of pound the pavement, get all the anxiety, get all the stress out by working by running and walking, because I do a run walk, so I don't run the whole way. I do a run walk intervals, and that's just great for me. That helps me, that puts me in a good place, and that's kind of how I found that joy.
Wow. There's so many just insights from your experience with running from 2016, just getting off the couch to the 5K, 3 miles, to running a marathon. I mean, that's a huge leap. A huge leap. Most people will stay at the 3K or 5K, and some people will stay on the couch, right, for years and years. But you were able to um, do several things. So one, you had an accountability partner, right? A friend that you were able to do that with. So it became a fun activity. I assume that you were, encouraging each other to do to better yourself in a healthy way.
Absolutely.
Two, when you decided to do the marathon, you didn't just go on your own and just say, "Oh, I'm going to go from 5K to marathon." You put yourself in the right environment with a coach that would help move you forward. And I love that you were feeling so much joy with running that you're noticing that people are reflecting back what you put out, right? So a lot of times in our life, what we see other people react to us is often a reflection of what we are putting out. We may not be feeling good. We may be frowning because we have a headache. And then we notice people are frowning at us as well because they may think we're frowning at them. But it could be a reflection of what you're putting out into the environment. So when you put out that happiness and you're feeling that feeling, you're getting it back, which is wonderful. Um, Speaking of marathon and running miles and miles, have you ever experienced like the runner's high that people say they get? Like that feeling of, I've always heard about it. I used to run cross country in high school, but I've never experienced that. And I wanted to know if you ever felt that like sense of, I guess it's a sense of peace and elation that runners feel at a certain level in their run. Yeah.
I felt that, and I think it kind of maybe stems from, especially during that marathon, like when
Mhm.
you get to mile 20 and you're like, dude, I have 6 more miles to go. You're like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Like you kind of gives you this extra energy. I think definitely mile 23, I'm like, oh, we just have a 5K. We just have a 5K to go. But then, and then it says, once you finish and you see that award, you're like, yes. Yes. Now, so the funny thing was, I'll be honest with you, I'm a crier. So
Mhm.
I've done 7 marathons. I would
Yes.
say the seven. I will.
Seven.
I am an overachiever, so we'll
Okay.
go with that. But probably the first 3, I cried. Like I was just like, I cannot. Like I bawled crying. Like I could not
Mhm.
believe that I did this. I couldn't believe that I put my body through this, and we actually finished and got a medal.
Mhm.
So the first 3, I literally cried. This last one, I didn't cry. I didn't cry the last one. I think I
Okay.
was. I know, right? How you're growing. You're like, oh yeah, what are you doing?
Oh, marathon, no big deal. It's
Yeah,
just, yeah, yeah, no
yeah.
big deal.
the question is, well, how was my time? I think the funny thing was, since I started doing, so I always like something that gets you to that next level. And
Mhm.
so I loved triathlon. So I think triathlon's kind of changed my view of it, because now we're doing such longer distances in 3 different areas. But the one thing I just want to go back to answer your question, I do sometimes have a little bit of a runner's high
Mhm.
when like if I'm stressed out, if I'm feeling like a little bit just conflicted or overwhelmed or even sad. Sometimes
Mhm.
getting to go out for a run, looking out into nature, I just feel so much at peace. I feel
Mhm.
like, oh, this is great. Like,
Mhm.
I just feel like I'm in a better place. So I kind of have that high. So that's another where I get high. So not only just the races themselves, but
Mhm.
actually, being out there in nature.
Mhm. That's wonderful. We have another question that I have for you is what strategies would you recommend for someone that's starting from the couch? Starting from the couch and then wanting to do an exercise routine that they find joy in. How did you decide running was for you, other than, of course, the opportunity came for the 5K, but were you thinking of, oh, I like dancing, running, I think I love running more than dancing, or yoga or Pilates? There's so many options, right? So
Yeah.
Pilates, I can do kickboxing, you can do so many things. Did you think, like, how did you come up with the decision to start running?
That's a great question. So,
Mhm.
to answer your question, what are some strategies that I use? I say the first thing is try something different.
Okay.
Prior to this, what I thought of exercise was going to the gym and doing the elliptical and then
Mhm.
maybe doing some weights. That was my whole mentality. Now, when I was in medical school, they had a line dancing class at the local gym. And so I would get out there with the older ladies and I would just have a good time learning all the different steps. But for
Mhm.
me, I always thought about cardio and strength training all in the gym. So when my friend asked me to do a 5K, I was like looking at her like she had two heads. But if I had not tried something different, I would never have found that I really do enjoy this. Like, this is me. This was me. So number one, try something different. You never know if you'll like it. Number two, I would say be willing to fail, because when you try something different, you're not going to be great at it.
Mhm.
For example, when I actually started running, my mileage, I was run walking, and my minute mile was around 17 minutes to run 1 mile. And
Mm.
so now I'm still not that fast, but I've gone from 17 to now 12. you know, if I
Oh,
get close to 10, my knee is like, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, you need to slow this down. My knee starts to act up and starts to yell. But I'm like, listen, I've come a long way. I wasn't great at this. To start, I was the back of the pack. Like, they had the cars, driving behind me. But but I still found that joy, and I'm still not a fast runner. You will not see me run a 4 minute mile at all. But I still find joy in where I am, and knowing
mhm.
that for me, yes, I'm competitive, but the
Mhm.
goal for me is to beat what my score from last time, or my time from
Mhm.
last time. Like, it's not. I actually encourage other people to run, versus that. So I say that's the second strategy, is be willing to know that you're not going to be great when you try it new,
Mhm.
kind of keep
Mhm.
trying. And then the third thing I would say is to start, because guess what, you're never going to find time to exercise. We're never going to find time to be active.
Mhm.
So just start. Even if it's 5-10 minutes, just do something, because what you'll find is you'll start with those 5 to 10 minutes, and then as you increase, you eventually get to like 30 minutes to an hour, and then it's nothing. You're like, oh, this is what I do normally. You forget when you were dying just doing 5 minutes. So just start, and then kind of work your way up. And then also, the last but not least, I'm gonna give you a bonus, is have some variety. You don't have to do the
Mhm.
same thing all the time. Life is full of variety. We go to the ice cream shop, we have tons of flavors. And so,
Mhm.
if you are one that loves the gym, do the gym. If you're one that loves the outdoors, go for a hike, go for a walk, go swimming, do things that make you feel happy and that bring you that joy, as well as make you a little bit active and help you to get to your better health.
Right. So I love that. There's so many insights and lessons from what you said. All of those four things, and the bonus as well is one, it's like I think what stands out to me the most is that, run on your pace, right? Run on your pace, and it's your race.
Yeah.
So decide what works for you. It's very personal. Like what works for someone else, that may tire me out and I can't do that particular thing, but I can do something else that fits my body more, and I brings more joy to me, right? Versus a
Exactly.
different exercise. So find what works for you. It's so
You,
important. And then
you,
run your race. Run your race.
yeah.
You may not be, you may not be Usain Bolt, right? You may not be.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You may not be.
Usain
But
Bolt was like, I'm done already. What is wrong with you?
But you can run 7 marathons with a 12-minute mile. Wow. That's not super fast, but you did it and you endured and you can do the distance. So that's showing, yeah, that's showing a ton of growth. Like it may not be speed, it may be endurance, it may be how long you can go, all sorts of things that are helping your heart, helping your health, helping your joy, helping your self-esteem. So I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I just
So
want to say there's a saying in our track club, your race, your pace, so, or your pace, your race, whichever one, you can do it, whichever one. So like you said, just run your race, run your path, run your truth. Most important.
Right. So we are going to do our improv game in the middle today. Before we wrap it up, because we got so many lessons and we are, I think it was just a wealth of information for everyone that's listened or that will listen. And I want to do our improv game. So improv is something that has brought a lot of joy in my life and helps us to get out of our heads and to listen to each other better, and to also, when we respond, we be able to say the first thing on our mind without feeling like, oh, did I say the right thing? Just say what comes, right? Just say what comes what naturally to you. And then of course, listen to the person that you are speaking with, or that's playing with you for the improv game. So this game is called Convergence or Mind Meld.
Mind meld.
Mind meld. So we're trying to merge our minds.
Okay.
So we're going to count it. So the goal is to get to the same word. So you may say one word and then I'll say another word. So example, if I say apple and you say pie,
Oh,
right?
sorry.
Or that's okay. No, you're ready. So if you say apple and you say pie, then the next word should be something that's in common between the two. So, and we try to get on the same, our goal is to get the same word. And then we went, yeah, okay. All right. So we can say, oh, the next word we're thinking, maybe we'll say dessert. And then that's the same word that both of us said. Okay.
Okay. Let's
All
do it.
right. All right. Let's play. So on the count of three, say the first thing that comes to mind. It doesn't have to be anything related to topic, just the first word that comes to your mind. Okay. All right.
Orange.
One.
Oh, no,
Oh,
not.
we got to count.
My bad. We're saying it together, right? Okay. Okay, all right.
On three. Okay. You ready? Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. Flower. Orange. Still orange.
Yeah.
Okay. So orange, flower. Okay. All right. So something that connects orange and flower, but not too specific. Okay. You ready? So 1, 2, 3. Cake.
Tree.
Oh, tree. So cake and tree. So what? Cake and tree. Okay. All right. Ready?
Okay.
So,
All right.
all right. 1, 2, 3. Earth. Oh, we got to say it at the same time. You got to say it first thing. Huh?
Oh, I just said dirt.
Dirt. Okay, that's close. Earth and dirt. So we're very, very close. Earth and dirt.
We're getting close.
Okay. Okay. Earth and dirt. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Soil.
Soil. That's the
Oh,
Stay together. I'm sorry. I'm so delayed.
we can blame that on the delay of the camera. The camera delay, but you were on time. But that's the mind meld game. So we just get out of our heads and we connect to each other. And sometimes it's kind of amazing how we come up with the same word after a short period of time. Okay, so thank you so much for being with us, Alicia, Dr. Shelly. This has been wonderful. We've learned so much. I have some wrap up questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, who would you say is a model of joy in your life?
So I think of a model of joy. So initially I was thinking about people who were outside of the box, like people that are celebrities. And I think of Oprah as one, just
Mhm.
because she is always one to kind of take life by the horns. You see her, not only does she have her empire, her
Mhm.
media empire, she still takes time out for herself. Like I was surprised when she said, what, I go for a hike 2 to 3 miles every day, or I'm out there in nature every day. The other
Mhm.
person that brings me joy is my mom, who just
Mhm.
shows me, because regardless of what happens, she's always very smiley. She's always very bubbly. Like yes, she gets upset, but then outside of that, she's just so open and just so
Mhm.
nice. So I would definitely say my mom is the second person. Mhm.
That's great. And then have you felt that you've incorporated aspects of your mom or, Oprah in terms of your joy in your life? Yeah, that's wonderful.
Definitely. I definitely see it. I definitely have, like, you only get to, like, when it comes to living, I love the phrase, you only live once. So you have to be able to enjoy it while you still can.
Right.
So,
Definitely. So if you were baking a cake of joy,
mhm.
what are your top 3 ingredients?
Mm. So a cake of joy, top
Mhm.
ingredient is going to be balance. Finding
Okay.
that balance between work and play and life is so important. I can't even say I made it there, but definitely balance.
Mhm.
Secondly, I would say emotional health, emotional wellness. Like, just because sometimes, like I said, in order to live life at the fullest, you have to emotionally be there. And although we can't, life happens, things happen in life, but having that emotional balance is very key. And then
Mhm.
last thing is having that physical balance, as far as with your physical health, being able to move, being able to, even just going for a walk. I was talking to this 86-year-old man in my office, and I was like, man, you're a really good 86. You don't need a cane. You're walking like you look great. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, yes, you're 4 years away from 90, but you're in a great place. And so,
Mhm.
having that physical health is so imperative. And so I would say my balance cake, my joy cake would be balance, emotional health or wellness, and physical health. Mhm.
That's a wonderful cake. So thank you so much. That sounds like a very tasty cake, and I want a lot of that. So how can our listeners or the audience reach you? Like where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me at Dr. Shelly MD. Also at Instagram, TikTok, all the places, YouTube. But then also, if you're, I have a podcast, the Back on Track Achieving Healthy Weight Loss podcast, and you can just find that wherever you listen to podcasts. So thank you.
Great.
Check me out.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for joining. This has been great. Bye, you all, and we'll chat in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.